Now let's talk about Moss Capital. It's launching what it says is Australia's first solar energy fund. It'll provide fixed-term, fixed-rate loans and preferred equity to Australian solar projects with long-term deals in place. Let's get more with Head of Energy and Resources at Moss Capital, Martin Rushe, in our Sydney CBD studio. A warm welcome to you, Martin. Let's just understand in the kind of energy usage environment that we're in here in Australia, where does solar sit?
Well, hello, Carson. Thanks for having me on the show. Obviously, Australia is blessed with arguably the world's greatest solar resource. And so the opportunity for a solar fund in Australia, we think, is very strong. Perhaps driven, though, by not just our solar resource, but the environment in which we find ourselves, that of rising electricity prices, and we believe an ensuing carbon price. In this environment, solar energy gives us an opportunity to fix our electricity prices, and we think that's very compelling.
We're not blessed today of all days that you'd come into the studio to do this with any amount of sun. Correct me if I'm wrong, certainly from where I'm sitting, and believing probably it won't be that dissimilar in the CBD there.
Well, that's very true, Carson. Unfortunately, it is slightly overcast today.
Yeah.
But modern solar technologies are very little affected by being by overcast weather such as this, I'm pleased to say.
Now, when you say very little affected, how is that understood alongside home-grown, that is to say, residential solar panels? Because I have it on fairly good authority that on a day like today, you could expect the output of those panels to as much as half.
Half would be very high. A more normal factor would be 20% through cloud cover. On modern solar photovoltaic panels, 20–25% would be a reasable estimate for degradation.
And on those modern panels, because you've spoken of local councils and corporations,
yes,
potentially being able to benefit from this, you're going to need an awful amount of these panels in order to replace, if you are going to go down that route, those electricity prices you say they're currently hostage to.
Well, one of the great benefits of solar power is the time at which the energy is generated. And so solar panels produce the greatest amount of power output at a time of day when our power demand is at its highest. And obviously in Australia, power demand is very much driven by air conditioning. So when the sun is hottest and our demand is highest, air conditioning driven, then the amount of power being created by our solar panels is also at its highest. And so that means that they're very efficient in respect of the number of panels which are required, because they produce that at just the right time.
Where is this technology coming from? How are we going to also, I guess, see a manufacturing story be one to where domestically? Is there a way we can leverage off local production?
Well, we very strongly support the idea of local manufacture, and our fund certainly supports local manufacture. I like to think that as the solar industry, not at the residential level, but at the commercial and industrial level, which is the specific focus of our fund, as the industry in that sector expands, then more manufacturers will be drawn into the Australian market.
Well, you do say you're the first solar project specialist. Some were begging to ask, why indeed not consider other renewables? Are you saying that this is sort of the leader of the pack, so you're capitalising on that, believing it will get the most traction?
Well, look, we're a big believer as a firm. Moss Capital is a very big believer in renewable energies, and we're very active in renewables as a sector. But right now, and as of today, we believe solar energy at the commercial and industrial scale, which is the specific focus of this fund, is the best place to provide stable and reliable income. And that is the focus of this fund. It is an income-focused fund. It's not a technology fund.
In the first year, what sort of return on equity are you expecting?
We're looking at 13 to 15% annual returns for our investors.
Martin Rushe, keep us posted.
Thank you very much, Carson.
We appreciate you coming on the show today. Many thanks. Martin Rushe there from Moss Capital, no less. We'll take a short break. Ahead for you, the QR National IPO picks up steam. Andrew Main from the Australian with the very latest around the corner.